All right, we're going to start with our clear number one player. We've mentioned him multiple times throughout this podcast.
Joe Ingles.
Ben Simmons. I mean, as I said, I watched the game versus the Cavs and I officially gave up my For the Love of Don campaign for Rookie of the Year.
That's pretty big.
Because it is big because I've been
For
on
you,
him
I mean.
all year. The sky's the limit for Ben. And, like, I don't say that just as a cliche, like, the sky's the limit, lollipops and rainbows. This guy, like, his potential is unlimited to what he could be, especially if he develops a jump shot. It's scary how good. And it's just so awesome that, like, we have an Aussie talent who could genuinely win an MVP one day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
to have that level of talent is just something we've never had before. He got an A+ at the quarterly mark. He's finishing with a double plus.
Double plus.
Phenomenal. Rookie of the Year. Australia will burn down the NBA if you don't give him Rookie of the Year. So Adam Silver, be warned. Moving on to Aron Baynes. If you haven't checked out our video of Baynesy knocking down 3 balls all over the Raptors, it pretty much broke the internet. It was right up there with Kim K's backside. So check it out if you haven't. He started 65 of his 79 games this season. He's averaging his numbers don't jump off the page. Under 6 points per game and 5.2 boards. But we talked about the quarterly awards, how much their defense and rebound has improved this year. Baynes deserves credit for that as much as Horford may be the leading factor. Baynes
Or
does
Brad
deserve
Stevens.
credit. And a bit of a stat for you. The defensive real plus minus, which take it however much you want it because defensive
real
stats
one.
are quite sketchy. But Baynes in defensive real plus minus is number 4 in the league. So only behind Gobert, Roberson and Nurkic. Very impressive.
That's good.
Look, he got an A in the quarterly grade. He hasn't been quite as good, but he's getting a B+. Been pretty impressed. Good season from our boy Baynesy. Jingles. He's tied with Klay Thompson for 4th in the league in three-point percentage this season. He's made over 200 3 balls, only one of 11 players to do so. Average career high 11.6 points, 4.8 assists from the small forward position, which isn't bad. Over a steal a game. He's not just a shooter as well. He's developed an ability to attack the rim, admittedly very slowly and softly, but he still can do it. He gets an A. Impressive by Ingles. Our second A, Dante Exum, the return of Dante. So he returned in mid-March and he's averaged just under 9 points, shooting 51% from the field, 33% from 3. Since his return, he's played 12 or 13 games. It's just so good to see him back on the floor after missing so much time.
Can we hold out a grade? Can we come back to Exum to give him a true grade?
Yeah, well, he's still going to get a grade for his 12 games. But I mean, he also rejected Boban Marjanovic, who is, by the way, 7'4", and Dante is 6'6". So he got a little bit of arm, but still very impressive. He gets a B+. Because that, like, his performance comeback, very impressive. Paddy Mills. Look, I'm a bit disappointed in Paddy's performance this year. Just going to go a bit school teacher on him. This was the year he was supposed to take a big step because Tony Parker missed a lot of the early season. This was his chance. He's averaged 10 points per game, 2.8 assists. He's been passable. And he has hit some big shots, but he's so inconsistent, and he just hasn't gone to that next level.
It's also a factor that DeJounte Murray has developed a bit faster than I think the Spurs would have expected.
I think they've gone to him as their number 2, whether I thought Paddy had a chance to try be that number 2. So a C+. Look, it's not atrocious, but I thought so much more from Paddy.
Yeah.
Paddy, before Simmons, was our best player, whether now I think Ingles sits above him as well as Simmons. Delhi, unfortunately, only managed 37 games this season. Last played on the 4th of Feb with an ankle sprain, which must be the worst ankle sprain of all time if he hasn't played since the 4th of Feb. He still says he's hopeful to return to the playoffs. His 4.4 points per game is a career low, 3.8 assists, 19 minutes, which is his lowest since his first season in Cleveland. It's pretty rough. He just gets a C. Then Bogut, he was waived by the Lakers, decided not to entertain a 2-day contract because he wanted to be with his pregnant wife in Australia. Fair enough. There is talk about him coming to the NBL and playing for an Essendon team if they got a license. They've actually asked their fans how they would feel about that, so we'll see. Look, he did have a really disappointing season with the Lakers, though.
Yeah.
D for Bogut, which is better than the F I think I gave him at the Quarterly Award. Thon Maker, massively disappointing. I mean, this is a guy, look, there is still potential, but he's 21 years old, and his numbers this year up 0.9 points per game, up about a board, and like we're talking 4.9 points and 3.1 boards. So like, and his minutes have gone up. So they went from 10 last year to 17. We just haven't seen any. You just want to see a glimpse to say, like, this is the talent we've got. We can go from here. And right now, you're not seeing that with him, which is disappointing. I got a C- for him. And finally, Mangok Mathiang, which is a mouthful. He had a 2-way contract with the Hornets and the Greensboro Swarm. He played 4 games. He had 8 points in their 61-point win over Memphis. So take that. He scored an NBA basket. Not many people can say that. But yes, it was against Memphis, and they were up by 61 points. But still, he gets a C. Pass mark. There's not many people who can say they played in the NBA. So pretty impressive by Mangok Mathiang.